I'm going to go over all the games from Friday and Saturday. It was a busy day, so let's get into it. Here we go. Busy weekend for boys basketball as the season kicks off. First off, we start off on Friday night with Shea versus Wheeler. Wheeler was able to win this game by 12 and a final score of 57-45. Wheeler was led by Tyler Coleman, who had 23 points, while freshman Terry Pike scored 12 points on 4 of 3-point shooters. All right, now we jump into the busy Saturday. It felt like March Madness with all the games that were going on. All the games on just about every hour. I definitely didn't have enough screens to keep up with all the games, but before we get into these games, just remember, guys, this show is about you, the players, you, the coaches, any coaches that are interested in coming on after a game, anything that happens after a game, a show, I don't care, win, loss, tie, even though there's no ties in basketball, triple overtime. If you guys have the time to come on, give a post interview, I'd love to have you guys on the show. If you guys are able to catch any highlights or able to give any highlights, I'd love to have highlights. We were able to get highlights from two coaches tonight that I was able to put into the show as well too. So happy to have those highlights. If you guys can give me some highlights, great passes, good shots, anything like that, something quick or a minute long, I'd appreciate it. So just before we get into the show, but all right, now let's get back into it. The first game that really kicked off the season on this crazy Saturday, Portsmouth. Chero at Portsmouth. Chero had the lead at halftime about 1, but in the second half, Portsmouth was led by Benny Hurd. Portsmouth was led by Benny Hurd to pull away. Benny had 21 points in Portsmouth victory, 50-44 over Chero. We followed the Block Island versus Scituate, and what was a slow start for both, but Scituate got it going and built an early lead and was able to hold on to that lead and to the victory. Scituate 54, Block Island 43. Now we go into what people had thought might be the game of the week. This was Pilgrim versus East Greenwich, which was a battle of some of the top two teams in Division Two. Jack McMullen had it going at 35 points after a slow start in the first quarter to help lead East Greenwich for victory, 64-50 over Pilgrim. 64 East Greenwich, 64 Pilgrim 56, and a victory to East Greenwich. Jack joins us to give us some insight. Now joining me is Jack. All right, now joining me after his team's opener and big win over Pilgrim, the guard for East Greenwich High School boys basketball team, Jack McMullen. Jack, how are you?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Jack, how did it feel to be back on the court?
Oh, really good. It was really fun. We played with a lot of energy and like we hadn't played in 10 months.
That's awesome. And what was it like to, play in a big divisional game like this and get a win?
Yeah, so we knew that we were both at the top of Division II, so prepping all week, knowing we got a tough task and going out there playing really hard, it was really satisfying and a really good win.
That's awesome. And what was one thing you and your team were able to do to really get this victory?
So we had players like Cole Basler and Will Foster who didn't get extremely valuable minutes in varsity in their past years. And, it wasn't like they were in question on how they were going to do, but, they hadn't played and they played really well and hard and with lots of passion. So that was great. And then Danny Pryor and Andrew Plimpton, our big guys, kept Tyreek Weeks with 11 points, one of the best scorers in Division II. So that was huge. And then our coaches put in a great game plan, Coach Enzer, Guy, and Bowen. So we were prepared and we played hard.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, Will Foster had a great game, and I saw a lot of those guys have a great game. It was a lot of fun to watch.
It was so much fun to see everyone succeeding and having fun.
That's awesome. And you also had a big day. You had 35 points from what I heard off the live stream.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like for you to, just to have a big game and help your team go for it?
Honestly, it's just in the moment, you don't really understand, you don't really know what's going on. You're just trying to score and help your team. Part of my job for this team is to provide some scoring. So I'm just trying to help my team out, really.
That's awesome. Yeah, I felt like the hoop got really big for you at one point. So
yeah, not in the first quarter. If anyone's watching, you know what I'm talking about.
But, yeah. A little bit slow to start, then it just started heating up. So.
It's pretty fun, and I like the quarters honestly too. So first quarter wasn't shooting well, and then second quarter started, you get like a fresh start almost.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, really nice.
Cool.
Yeah, good switch over from the halves to the quarters. And then what's your upcoming game?
So we play Portsmouth on Monday and Chariho on Wednesday. So Portsmouth should be another really good test. So we're getting our strong games right away, and we're seeing what we're really made of.
Yeah, getting right off the back. Well, yeah. Jack, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate your time, man. Good luck on Monday against Portsmouth, and look forward to hearing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, Jack. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you, Jack, for being on the show. Great game for him. So lucky to see what he's able to do. He's closing in also on those 1,000 points. So we meant to get him back on after he scores us 1,000 points. Mount St. Charles versus Blackstone Valley Prep. Great game. Mount St. Charles held on to the lead for most of the game as they beat Blackstone Valley Prep by 8, 59-51. Here are some highlights, followed by an interview by the head coach of Mount St. Charles, Coach Henry Coleman. Ready?
Yep.
All right. Joining me on today's show is Coach Henry Coleman. Today, the head coach of Mount St. Charles. Coach was able to get his team was able to get the victory, 59-51. Coach, first off, how's it feel to be back?
Felt great. It felt great. Obviously, we didn't have the fans. It was a little different type of atmosphere. But once the ball got tipped, it was just like any other game, especially with the kids on the bench into the action. It was just great to see.
Nice. And what was it like? How important was it to play a divisional game right off the bat? You play a really good Blackstone Valley Prep team. What's it like? Someone was saying this is a top 5 matchup in the Division 3. So what's it like to get this one and start off the season right?
It was definitely different, to say the least, because usually at least you have those non-league games where you can at least get a better feel for certain individuals. But basically, they would just throw them right out there, both teams, each game counting towards playoff. Towards those final rankings once the playoffs come out. So it was definitely different. They were down a couple players who were 2 of their better players in their program. But at the same time, you can't take anybody lightly. They gave us a good battle throughout those 32 minutes.
That's great. And how do you feel your team played?
I was really pleased with the way that we played, especially the effort, the attitude. Those are 2 big things we keep stressing over and over since day one. It was sloppy at times, but that's to be expected. First game of the year, first couple of games of the year are going to be sloppy at different points. Kids still getting a feel for each other, understanding defensive rotations, the offensive sets. But overall, they did a great job, especially during timeouts and adjusting. I couldn't be any happier the way things played out today.
That's awesome. Yeah, you got to shake that rust up. It's been a little while since everyone's been all together.
It sure has. And it shows, and it's going to be like that throughout the state. But the best thing about it is just being on the court, and that you can see as far as the kids had a great time, the referees as well. It was just a great experience, and we hope to continue moving forward in that direction straight through to the end of the year.
That's great. And Coach, who's your next game?
Our next game is Monday, so we have a quick turnaround. We play at Davies. Davies opens up tonight against North Smithfield. They have one of the top returning players in Division 3, Raheem Rainey. So we know as far as it's going to be a tough matchup, but we're looking forward to it.
Okay, Coach, good luck on Monday, and thanks for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you, as always, Jeff. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. All right. Thank you, Coach Coleman, for that interview, and thank you for those highlights. I really appreciate it. We go to East Province now, where LaSalle and East Province take on each other in a big battle in Division 1. LaSalle was led by Rafael Awa, who scored 35 points, and Dimitri Ifrit, who chipped in 35, while EP was led by Ilias Torres with 17 points, and Trey Resendez with 15, and Brian Taylor with 14, with a final score of LaSalle Academy 81 and East Province 71. West Warwick versus Moses Brown is our next game. As I was watching this one, the NFHS score had me all messed up for this one. I thought the score was 54-7 at one point. I said, whoa, what is happening here? I thought Moses Brown was one of the better schools, in D3. I was wrong. The score is a lot closer than that. I was just messed up with everything that was going on. But West Warwick was still able to pull out the victory in this one. In this D3 battle, West Warwick was able to win the game with a balanced scoring attack from Alex Johnson with 18 points, Kyle with 18, and Brady with another 18. Moses Brown was led by Christian Chase with 15 points, and Andrew Perry with 11 points. Final score 71-60 West Warwick. We go to Ponagansett, where Times Squared Academy faces Ponagansett in an absolute shootout. What was a crazy game, very high scoring game. Score was 90-86. Times Squared Academy would pull out the victory by 4. They were led by Kobe Pena with 26 points and Jason Peters for a double-double with 21 points and 10 assists, while Ponagansett was led by Lucas Pierce with 28 and Sal Bianca with 26. This final score, 90-86. We go to Jason Peters for his insight on the game and his teammates. All right. Joining me today from their victory in a high-scoring affair with Ponagansett, junior guard for Times Squared Academy, Jason Peters. Jason, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. How does it feel to get on that court and play your first game?
Oh, it feels so good. The first time I was today I was obviously playing today, but as soon as I stepped foot on the court, I was just reminiscing of the memories, and just usually after school I just eat and I come right back in the gym and then I'm already focused. I hear the music, just the smell of the gym, seeing the players all in the jerseys, just really good to get back. So
that's awesome.
Really good.
That's great. And what does it feel like to play with a mask on?
Oh, it's so difficult. It's like I nearly choked like 4.5 times because every single time I'm trying to huff and puff, it's like the sweat is like I'm sucking in the sweat, and it's like it's terrible. But we do get mask breaks, so in between I just like pull it out and just breathe, or like during water breaks, I mainly just take advantage of the water breaks.
That's good. That's good. And what does it feel like to have those four quarters?
It's hard. I want to say it's harder. I mean, it's the first game, so I'm not gonna say it's easy or hard. But from last year's recap, since there was only 2 quarters, I would usually have say about 10 in the first and then 15 in the second, or 7 in the first and 15 in the second. So it just varies. But 4 quarters, how I'm looking at it is I need to constantly score, or if it's not me, then it's my teammates. So in order for us to, get where we want to be, as far as scoring wise, we always have to constantly be scoring. Every minute to 2 minutes, it has to be a 3 or 2. Definitely that.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys had a well-balanced scoring attack tonight.
Oh, definitely. This is the problem. This is the problem that the opposing teams are gonna have to overcome, because it's not just me anymore. Last year, okay, maybe it was me, or maybe I was a one-man show. But now, if the team limits me from scoring, I have 4 other offensive weapons that are giving me 10 plus. So I'm very fortunate for that, because now the pressure's off me, and I don't get double teamed, I don't get boxed in one, I don't get triple teamed. So it's like I get to have a silent 20 or a silent 25. Everybody else is scoring, so we're all sharing the wealth, and we're just getting the job done.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you helped your team tonight with 21, and then I've also heard 10 assists as well too. What was that like?
It was great, because I have everybody on my team can score, and one thing about basketball is you have to trust your teammates. I'm not gonna lie, last year it's not that I didn't trust, it's just I'd rather me take the shot, or I'd rather me do things personally for myself. But this year, me being alongside with Kobe and Josh and the rest of my crew, I trust my main person I trust is Kobe, because I played with him and we know each other and we know our style. And one thing that he does very well is he knows when to go to the basket. He knows when to cut. He knows when to, attack the basket. So it takes the pressure off of me. And I think 7 or 8 of my assists was on Kobe, because Kobe had a good night. He ended up with 26, 26 or 25. But that was just from doing backdoor cuts, cutting, getting the ball, us just pushing up and him running in transition. So, I mean, it looks good. It looks good on me and him because he could score, and I'm passing it. I did my part, so now it's him.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, it's great that you have like a 1-2 punch and a couple other guys jumping in there too. They also had 17. Josh had 17.
It's very tough. It's very tough.
That's awesome. And then, when's your upcoming game?
We have a next one on Tuesday at 6:30. Oh no, yeah, 6:30 at Exeter West Greenwich.
Nice. I want to touch upon also before move on. I also want to touch upon what was it like to be in that high scoring affair? The game was 90-86. What was that like? And what was it was like that?
I'll just break it down as quick as possible. The first quarter, it was our first game, so obviously we didn't know what to do. We didn't know the personnel, so it was a little bit of selfish ball. But towards the end, going in second, and at the end of halftime, we started to pick up on one another. We started knowing the personnel. So we was just giving off good vibes and just giving off, the next play, just giving it up and letting the next person score. So we wasn't being selfish at all. And for the other team, there was a point where they took the lead. I think it was. Okay, is everything right?
Yeah. Your picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah. At second quarter, there was a time where they was in front. I think they was up by 2 or 4 maybe, but we came back and then we went on a huge run in the third quarter. I think we ran up 15 or 10, but we just had to solidify our spot and just captivate on it and just keep holding that foot on the neck. So once it was third quarter, fourth quarter came, I didn't have to do too much. I just had to give my assists. That's where most of my assists came from, was just the guys knowing where to be and me just giving them the ball at the right time.
That's awesome. So that's mainly it. That's great. I mean, it sounds like you guys shook the rush off real quick and were able to get.
Yeah, but one thing I would say right now, we can score. Yeah, we have the offensive talent. It's defense, because we let 86 points. We gave up 86 points. That's unacceptable. So practice on Monday. There's no balls. There's no plays. We're going straight defense, because me personally, I can't allow 86 points. At least I know it's back and forth and stuff like that. Us putting up 90 or 70 plus, that's good. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But the defense, we can't allow them to have more than 50.
Yeah.
More than 50 or 60 if they're feeling it. But no more than 60.
That's good. If you guys lock in on defense, you guys are a tough team to stop. You got 2, you yourself and a couple other great scorers on your team. I mean, you guys are going to be a really tough team in Division 3.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jason, for being on the show. I appreciate your time. Looking forward to your next game, man. I hope you guys have a great one. And, I better see the other team when we score 50 points against you guys.
Yes, definitely going to work on it. I appreciate you for having me on here.
Hey, no time. Anytime, man.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you, Jason, for that insight. Good luck for the rest of the season. I hope to have you back on the show. On to North Providence versus Burrillville. Burrillville wins the game, wins this game 57-38, and a bounce attack from Kobe Buzan and Jaden White, as they both score 10 points in the game, and Jack Bergeron adds 9, while NP North Providence was led by Lincoln Drew with 9 points. Now we go back to Providence. St. Patrick's Academy versus Paul Cuffey School. St. Patrick's was able to win this game by 11, 53-42. They were led by leading scorer from last year, Keith Wilson. Keith Wilson with 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 steals. Here's a highlight of Keith Wilson's amazing no-look pass with that. Here is head coach of St. Patch, Coach Rack, on his thoughts about the game. All right, now joining me is the head coach of St. Patrick's Academy, Coach Rack, joins the show after his team's victory over Paul Cuffey School, 52-43. Coach, how did it feel to get the first game in, and then what's it like to get a division win at the same time?
Feels great. Feels great just being on the court. Like, again, I didn't think this was going to happen. Like, I kept getting pushed back. So just being on the court and being with the guys and playing in a game, I think the kids needed it. It just feels awesome to one, to be on the court with my guys, and then two, to get a division win. No matter how ugly it was, a division win, a win's a win. So I'm happy with our guys today.
That's awesome. And what was that coaching with that mask on?
Oh, it was tough. So now I have to, yell a little bit louder. There's no crowd, but at the same time, if my team's on the other end, I'm yelling, whatever play we're running or adjustments and stuff like that. And so I told one of my friends is assistant with me, and on the way home, like my throat is killing me. So I came home, make a honey and lemon tea that I found online for sore throats. So I've been doing that every night, because with the mask, it's just yelling more and, really getting that sore throat going. So it was a little tough, but it's definitely easier coaching with the mask than playing with the mask, I feel. So.
Yeah, I feel for the kids that have to play, playing with the mask, but keep that tea recipe going.
It's great. I looked it up and I'm like, it's actually been working. So knock on wood that it keeps working, because usually my voice is gone by the second game of the season. So
there you go. Now, what were some of the key moments of the game for your team to make this victory happen?
Yeah, it was we had a lead pretty much the whole game, but they were nipping our heels. They had some talent on that team, and some young talent on that team that that we weren't necessarily ready for. And there were a couple big plays. One, I put a senior in who doesn't get many minutes, Cliver Amato, and I put him in to spell Keith. I think it was at the end of the third quarter, and he came in. Their best player drove the lane. He snuck in, took a charge. And that's charges for me is just like so game changing and momentum changing. And our crowd, which is our bench, went nuts. He went, the kid who did it went nuts, and I really kind of changed the game. That was one big play, and then another big play down the stretch. We were up by, I want to say 7 or 8, but again, it was close. Like we were turning the ball over too much. I think Keith came down the lane, passed it out to my new starter, Jay Sean Pennant, who probably played like maximum 10 minutes last year. He started for me this year. Had 0 points coming in, 0 points all game. Knocked down a big three to increase the lead to 11. And those are kind of two kids who, if you look at the box score, it looks like they did nothing. Cliver didn't score, but took a huge charge. And Jay Sean, that was his only bucket of the day. But so like game changing and kind of sealed the victory for us.
That's awesome. That's great that you had that. Sometimes those moments don't pop up on the box score, but they're always huge for the bigger things.
Exactly. And they know how big they were. I talked about it at the end of the game. Keith had 25. Keith's gonna do Keith. He's gonna be up there every night. But the things you won't see in the box score, the kids taking charges and hitting big shots like that. So
that's awesome. And now, Coach, what's your next upcoming game?
We got West Warwick on Monday, so definitely I saw they beat Moses Brown by double digits today, coming down from D2. So it's definitely gonna be a test for us. We don't have our full team yet. We should have our full team by the end of next week, which will be nice to have our full guys back. So definitely gonna be a challenge, but we're up for the challenge. Anybody who wants to play us, we'll play, and we'll see how it goes.
That's awesome, Coach. Thank you very much. Good luck on your game against West Warwick.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Coach Rack. All right, on to Cranston West versus North Kingston. Cranston West, who has some great defense, they jumped out to a 10-0 lead on North Kingston, but North Kingston was able to stick to the game plan and was able to come back, and they were led by their senior captain, Owen Moynihan. North Kingston wins 66-55 over Cranston West. Here is Owen with his thoughts about the game. All right. Now joining me from the recent victory over Cranston West, North Kingston guard and captain, Owen Moynihan. Owen, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on the show again.
Yeah, no problem. Owen, how does it feel to be on the court and get that first win?
Great. It was just a great team win. Like, I know all the guys were excited to be back on the court, just playing against someone new. And Cranston West was a perfect opponent for us because they challenged us early and we were down like 10-0 to start the game or something. So we faced adversity quick. Was able to get back and play our game, and it was a good win in the end. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. What was the biggest turning point to come back from that 10-0 run, like being down 10-0?
Yeah, it was we just kept playing our style of basketball. Like, we knew we were getting shots, and they weren't missing in the beginning. Like, it was crazy. They came down and like pulled from like half court and was hitting 3-pointers from like half. It was wild. So we knew that they were gonna miss shots and we were gonna make ours. So we just kept playing our style of basketball. it worked out for us.
That's awesome. And you led your team with 21 points overall against a very good defensive team. What's that feeling like, to get that 21 and, help your team to a victory?
It was great. It was definitely a rusty game, though, getting the rust off. There were some bad shots taken in that game, but it was good. Overall, great win. We had a cool stat that everyone who played today scored, so that was just another great team win for all of us. We had a couple of new guys who had never played basketball before, a couple of seniors who got in and made an impact. So it was a great team win, and just excited to keep everything going.
That's awesome. And when's your next upcoming game?
Monday at Henderson. So that's a big one. We got that one circled. We've been looking forward to that game.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the one that good thing you get the rust off now and then get ready for that.
Yep.
All right. Well, Owen, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate your time. Good luck on Monday, and I'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Now we jump to we go back to Providence with Providence County Day versus Barrington. Barrington with the upset here. Barrington was able to win this game 52-47. Matt Rafa sealed the game with 2 free throws at the end of the game. He scores 11 and helps Barrington gain the victory. On to Johnson. Johnson takes on Tolman in what was a defensive battle. Johnson loses a tough one to Tolman. Tolman 40, Johnson 37. Now we head to Rocky Hill School, where this game was streamed on Instagram Live. Really cool to watch this game on Instagram Live. Mount Hope gave Rocky Hill quite the battle, but Rocky Hill was able to hold on to the lead by Walter Andrews with 18. Rocky Hill wins the game 57, Mount Hope 53. And we go check in on the defending champs as they handle Narragansett at 76-48, led by Easy Wall with 18 points. David Lynch added 16 points, and Justin Perez chipped in with 15 points. We had the Smithfield versus Cumberland. Cumberland jumped up to a 16-point lead at halftime, but Smithfield Sentinels hung in there tight and did not give up. They were led by Jaden Saunders, who scored 18 points. Smithfield able to pull out this victory, 50-47. We had the Classical. Where Classical versus Central. Classical beat Central 77-44. I am joined by Stanley Urley of Classical and Derrick Jenkins of Central as they both recap the game from their point of views of the game. All right. I am joined by Stanley Urley, guard for Classical, for Classical, and I am joined by Derrick Jenkins of Central. Tonight, Classical beat Central by 77-44. Stanley, how did you feel the game went? How did it feel to get back on the court?
I feel like the game went particularly good in terms of we got to run the floor. We was getting comfortable with each other, and it was just good being back on the court after so long, a year.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a good feeling. And how do you feel, Derrick, to get back on the court?
Game, it was a good experience touching the court again because quarantine. We haven't played indoor in a minute. My team, we need to just get back in the gym, get more chemistry, be ready for the next game.
Yeah, that's for sure. What was it like for you guys to play with mask?
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm not even gonna lie. I had my mask down a couple times, ducking from the ref.
No.
And then as soon as he come, I put it up.
Mask, this is too much.
Yeah.
Breathing. It's on 1,000.
One fast break, I'm already breathing heavy.
Really? That's tough. That's tough. What do you guys think of the fourth quarters?
Nah, I liked it.
Quarters.
Yeah, I liked it.
Better than 2 halves. Way better.
Way better.
You think it's better to get into a better rhythm or
Yeah, you just have a break after
every break in first quarter, you calm down, sit with that whole first half. You just go to the half, dang, I get it. And I gotta just wait. When you have a bad first quarter, you go into the second, pick up from there. If you just have a bad half, the half is long, so you just gotta
get it
over. It's gonna be a long bad half.
You just gotta hope it ends soon, that long bad half. But at least with a quarter, right? You get it's over. You just breathe and you go on to the next quarter.
Yeah.
Play a better game. Stanley, how important was it for you guys to set the tone early with your style of play?
I feel like we're just a run and gun type of team. So if we get started early with like the fast breaks and the transition points, we wouldn't have to get into set offenses. So it's easier to score off transition than set offense, and we just had to take advantage of that.
Nice. And you had 15 in tonight's performance. What was that like to see that first basket go in?
Just relief. First basket was a free throw.
Was it really?
So like, yeah. So once I hit the free throw, I was like, all right, I'm calm now.
That's good. That's good. And Derrick, what was it like from your point of view, seeing these guys, set the tone early, and what do you feel like you guys had to try to do try to get out of the hole?
Well, the energy that his starting five brought was like they was excited to play. My team wasn't as excited as I seen. That's why when we called the timeout, I was talking to them. I was like, "You guys look miserable. Be happy. We haven't played basketball in so long. Why you guys look so sad for?" I feel like our energy level was very low this game.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully you guys can bounce back in the next game. When are both of you guys' next game?
I played Monday against Westerly. That's PTA. I don't know the time, but yeah, Monday.
We play Wednesday at South Kingston.
That's up, Kingstown. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it. It's tomorrow. This will be out tomorrow at 10 a.m. just to let you guys know. But appreciate you guys' time. Good luck with the next upcoming games. Great job tonight, Stanley, with your team in classical. Derrick, good luck for next time with Central. Hopefully, you guys can get a win down in Westerly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And then we had the Davies. And then we had the Davies versus North Smithfield. Davies beats North Smithfield, and they were led by Raheem Rainey, who scored 31 points with 5 3-pointers. And then now we round up the night with Juanita Sanchez High School versus St. Ray. Juanita Sanchez is able to win in a close one behind leading scorer Bernard Oman, as he scores 20 points and hits 4 3-pointers. Juanita Sanchez High 54, St. Ray's 50. That's it. Show that is the recap show. Stay tuned here live at 11 and 12 because I will bring you Tollgate and Pilgrim as they talk about their upcoming seasons. The Pilgrim one was filmed before the season had started, so they talk about their thing. And same thing with Tollgate. Tollgate one was also filmed before their season started, but their season doesn't start until Wednesday against Middletown. Just remember, folks, thank you so much for tuning in the show. I appreciate you guys' time and everything like that. I promise this will get a little bit better as we go along. As we continue to grow, as I continue to figure more things out as I go along. But, I wanted to do something a little bit different and hopefully can bring you guys something a little special. And, just want to do something different, and hopefully I can continue to give you guys more, still growing, still learning on my end. I'm hoping to have a co-host very soon on this show. And we'll see where that goes as well too, and see how well that goes. Very excited about that. He's another big high school basketball fanatic too. And, hopefully with the two of us giving our insights, we can break down the games a little bit longer. I know tonight was kind of quick. It's tough. It's tough to watch a game by yourself, and keep up with all the games and, all that stuff, put this together, pretty fairly quickly. But, I did my best, and I want to give you guys the best. So I will keep producing better things. And just like I said, if you guys have videos, send them in. If you want to be on the show, DM me. You have highlights, DM me. If you want to have coaches, have me interview coaches, have me interview players, whatever you guys want, I'm here for you guys. This is your platform. You the players, you the coaches, and you the fans. This is all for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy what we've been doing so far. I will see you on Monday with another podcast with Khalil Fofana of Cumberland. A great interview with that young man. They had a tough loss against Smithfield, but it's a great one. And then we'll bring you some more great interviews this upcoming week on the podcast. And just remember to check out the show every Sunday. All right, we'll see you guys.